Liz Crosby here with a pranayama class. We're going to string together multiple pranayama techniques. And in case you're not familiar, pranayama is breath work. So I will probably make this a more regular occurrence on my YouTube channel. I wanted to wait a little bit because pranayama breath work is very, very powerful. And it can elicit a spiritual high. And so I don't want anyone to get off course and to deviate from the middle path and staying in alignment with the 8 limbs of yoga. And if you haven't watched that video already, I would highly recommend it. There is a chronological order of the 8 limbs for a reason, as it moves from the more gross to the subtle. And so pranayama is number 4, and it comes after asana, which is number 3. So it is very, very activating. It can activate third eye. If you are aware of your bandhas and how to engage them, and you really know how to tune in, you may start to get third eye activation, even maybe in this short pranayama sequence. And if not, that's okay. This is going to eventually pave the pathway to consistent third eye activation in your practice, whether it be a moving meditation, asana, or your meditation practice. So let's get started. We'll start with Viloma. Viloma is equal parts 3 incremental inhalations, and then you'll pause at the top, which is called kumbhaka, retention, and exhale everything out, all through the nose. So if you want to hit the pause button and make sure that the nasal passage is pretty clear up there, it's always a good idea. So let's begin. Exhale everything out. Inhale up to the brim. And pause. And you'll feel your lungs open up a little bit. And then breathe life into that new space. Inhale. Pause. It's so trippy because you won't think that there's more space to fill, but you wait a second and all of a sudden, inhale. And exhale everything out through the nose. And this will help to create more volume in your lungs. So really good idea to train your lungs to do this. Again, inhale deeply. Pause. Inhale again. Pause. And then one more time, inhale. Exhale everything out through the nose. We'll do 2 more rounds of that. Again, inhale through the nose. Feel the lungs expand. Maybe they're getting a little bit more volume as we go along. Pause. Again, inhale. Pause. Once more, inhale. Exhale everything out through the nose. Right? It's like a long workout, isn't it? 1 more round. Inhale. And pause. Inhale again. And pause. Inhale 1 more time. And exhale everything out through the nose. Release that. 1 more bit of clarification. We do most of our breath work in and out through the nose because we want the air to move up through the throat and up to third eye for processing, which is just above the nasal cavity. And it also will help you to access your clairolfactory senses, right? It'll help you to smell and maybe even taste a little bit anything that's coming up for witnessing and processing. So we want to withdraw those senses inwards, already starting to think about pratyahara, withdrawal of the senses. So, all right, moving on to our next pranayama exercise. It's all useful. You may actually experience some kundalini activation just by doing breath work too. So We'll do breath of fire next, and let's do 3 rounds of breath of fire because I absolutely love it. It's one of my absolute favorites, and it might be because I'm a fire sign, but we want the fire of solar plexus to rise up to meet the bottom of the lungs, and this will help to burn out any apana vayu, toxic wind that's accumulated at the bottom of the lungs. And so it's diaphragmatic. You'll concentrate on the exhalation, and the inhalation will come naturally. In the Sanskrit is Kapalabhati, but also known as breath of fire for that very same reason. It's diaphragmatic, which is engaging what? Your solar plexus, whose element is fire. So we're gonna do 3 rounds, and let's go for about 50 counts each round. And again, if you need to take a chill pill and peace out early, that's okay. Just like anything, like working a muscle, it might take some getting used to. So if you feel like those muscles are starting to get fatigued and you need to hit the pause and wait for the next round, no worries. Inhale deeply through the nose. Open the mouth, pant like a dog. Now take that same engagement with your diaphragm and just take it up into the nose. You can get into the good habits, chin lock it, engage Jalandhara Bandha. Gaze at the space between the eyebrows. We're about halfway. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. And just pause for a moment. Notice anything, maybe some energetic sensitivity, any bodily sensations. Maybe you're even starting to see sparkles. It's kind of fun. Again, like I said, you might even start to get some third eye activation. And just another quick thing in between rounds, you can, after you've found that palpitation of the diaphragm, feel free to go straight into the nose instead of panting like a dog. That's really just to trick us into engaging the diaphragm. But you can press the tongue into the roof of the mouth, the soft palate, and that will redirect the current of air up to third eye for processing. That's called Jiva Bandha. All right, here we go. Round 2, and again, about 50 counts. So here we go. Inhale deeply through the nose. Open the mouth, pant like a dog. Take it up into your nose. About halfway. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Whew. Again, it is a workout for the muscles surrounding the lungs, not just the diaphragm doing work, but all those little muscles surrounding the lungs are doing work. And so when you put in this extra effort, when you redirect your energy and you concentrate your attention on just the pranayama, you can see how the pranayama will then benefit in terms of your meditation practice. Those lungs will know what to do when you're dropping in super deep. And then of course, when you're practicing the asana and you're focused more so on the alignment of your postures, the breath, your lung muscles will know what to do to really consistently bring in that fresh oxygenated blood flow so that you're absolutely saturating all of your shapes with prana, life force energy. So one more round. Again, feel free to skip this one. You can sit this one out, wait for the next exercise until after this. Again, the Kapalabhati is actually a little bit of core work. It is diaphragmatic. So here we go. Again, final round up to a count of 50. and begin. About halfway. Here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale deeply. And exhale, let it go. Wow. So hopefully you're starting to see and feel how the pranayama is like a spiritual high. You kind of have to work for it, of course. You have to actually engage the muscles around the lungs, but it does evacuate toxic energy, and really it frees up space so that the energy has a clear commute through the central axis. This is really more in likeness of our true state of being. And most people, they say, most people are shallow breathers. And so it makes sense as to why we're so ruled by our emotional bodies. When you're just shallow breathing all the time, that really affects the way that you interact with your external environment. So this is a really good series of pranayama techniques to start your day. I also really love doing pranayama right before I go to sleep too, because it's another region or realm of existence wherein you aren't necessarily fully conscious. And so you can train these muscles to do what they need to do, and then your body might naturally breathe better while you're sleeping. What does that translate to? Better dreams. And of course, maybe even lucid dreams. Right? The DMT fires a little tiny bit every time you fall asleep. You might as well hitch a ride on that natural DMT high, right? All right, maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's dimethyltryptamine. I just had to. Okay, moving on. We'll do some vritti next. And we're gonna start with equal parts, 4 parts of the breath before we move into Nadi shodhana, alternate nostril breathing. All right, so when you're ready, exhale everything out. Inhaling through both nostrils. Pausing at the very top. Exhale out both nostrils. Pausing at the very bottom. And let's do a little bit of a count with it. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pausing at the very top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pausing at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Adding on. Inhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pausing at the very top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhaling through both nostrils. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pausing at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more round. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pausing at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhaling through both nostrils. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pausing at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and release that. All right, so the 4 parts of the breath are associated with the 4 seasons. And I'm sure you can probably guess, but just for reference, inhalation is spring because you're receiving all this new energy in. Pause at the top is summer as the air starts to circulate throughout the whole mind-body matrix via the cardiovascular system. And then the exhalation is fall, right? Because we're releasing the stagnant energy that's no longer serving. We're letting that shed just like the leaves in the fall. Pausing at the bottom, which is winter. Feeling yourself on empty is so crucial, making it real for the mind, and also feeling with your mind-body matrix without that stagnant energy. So it's a proper purge. That one also, the bottom of the out breath, the kumbhaka at the bottom of the out breath, is heavily associated with abhinivesha. Abhinivesha is one of the kleshas. It is fear of death. So if you can confront yourself and really hit that pause button at the bottom of your out breath, it will help you to become more comfortable with your mortality, right? So it's a good thing to keep in mind. Also, I'd like to mention before we move on to the next exercise, pranayama exercise, the kumbhaka retention. Kumbhaka does not translate to retention. It actually means earthen pot. And so what is the earthen pot? But it's you. You are the earthen pot. And you are made of the earth element. And as you inhale, the air element travels throughout your earth element, your physical body and space. And it retrieves that stagnant information. So this is where we get the sign of Aquarius, and this is also why so often people confuse Aquarius with being a water sign, because the air element, it picks up the water, which relays to third eye all the stagnant information. It creates kind of a mirror, right? Water element creates a little bit of a mirror so that you can actually see all of the stagnant information reflecting back at you, and then you can properly process it so that you can purge it for good, as opposed to just going through the motion. So it's nice to have all of this in your awareness as you go about doing this work. All right, moving on. Left hand can come to your left thigh, resting on your left thigh, maybe in Yana Mudra if you like. Right hand in front of your face. Now bend the middle, or the index finger and the middle finger, pointer finger and the middle finger. If you don't want to place it on the space between the eyebrows, then you can kind of hover off. I like to have a little bit of pressure, so I know where to gaze. And again, feel free to close your eyes, gaze at the space between the eyebrows. Exhale everything out. Now plug off the right nostril with your thumb. Inhale through the left nostril. Pause at the top. Oh yes, we're doing the kumbhaka retention. Now plug off the left nostril with your ring finger, exhaling out the right. Pausing at the bottom. Inhale through the right nostril. Pausing at the very top. Plug off the right nostril. Exhale out the left. Pausing at the very bottom. Inhale through the left nostril. Pausing at the very top. Plug off the left nostril with your ring finger, exhaling out the right. Nadi shodhana is very calming too, so this is always a good one too if you ever feel stressed or in anxiety. Inhale through right nostril. Pausing at the very top. Plug off the right nostril with your thumb. Exhale out the left nostril. And it's also useful to know that the left nostril is the feminine, associated with the feminine nadi. Inhale through the left nostril. Pausing at the very top. Plug off the left nostril with your ring finger, exhaling out the right. And the right nostril is the masculine aspect. Inhale through the right nostril. Pausing at the very top. Plug off the right nostril with your thumb. Exhale out the left nostril. Hang in there with me if you can. We got 2 more rounds. If you can go for a couple more breath cycles. Inhale through left nostril. Plug off the left nostril with your ring finger, exhaling out the right. Pausing at the bottom. Inhale through right nostril. Plug off the right. Exhale out the left. And release. You can kind of shake it out a little bit. So one more thing too about Nadi shodhana. As I mentioned before, the right and left nostrils are associated with the masculine and the feminine aspects of the nadis, or Ida and Pingala, the stira and the sukha, the yin and the yang, the ha and the tha, the solar and the lunar. You can visualize the 2 snakes weaving up the caduceus, the staff, and then meeting at the top at the pine cone on the top of the staff, which is associated with your 3rd eye because it is your pineal gland that excretes dimethyltryptamine. Good stuff. So yes, stay away from the fluoride, of course, but do your breath work because it will help you to bring that nourishment to the upper half. Not only is it good for your respiratory system, but it will also help you to find that engagement of Jiva Bandha, pressing the tongue into the roof of the mouth, and to, again, refine your ability to process the breath as it comes up through the throat and up to 3rd eye. So really good to exercise some pranayama techniques before your practice, whether it be meditation, seated meditation, moving meditation, asana practice, or before you do yoga nidra, maybe before you go to sleep, or even in everyday life circumstances. Maybe you have a stressful meeting that you have to go to, or you have to make a speech in front of a bunch of people, or just to prepare yourself for your day and get on your high-flying disc right off the bat. So getting this out at the beginning of the Mercury retrograde. Again, remember Mercury is associated with both Gemini and Virgo. So Geminis and Virgos are very heavily impacted by Mercury retrograde. Gemini is an air sign too. And Hermes has the little wings on his shoes and on his hat. So he's known for flying. So, and also the air element helps us to communicate with our emotional body. So I'd highly recommend doing these every day if you can. Again, once you have them down, then you can just kind of do whatever you feel like you need, right? Maybe you need to just find balance between the masculine and the feminine energy channels, and you can just do some Nadi shodhana. Maybe you need to just expel some stagnant energy in the bottom of the lungs. A little bit of Kapalabhati, breath of fire. Maybe you feel like your breath is really short and shallow, Viloma. So there's different breath techniques for different things, and I'll be sure to dish up some more pranayama techniques, but that should be enough for now. I know I'm definitely feeling a nice little spiritual high, a nice little tingly kundalini buzz going on, so I'm sure you guys have probably a similar internal experience happening. Of course, each of us is unique and diverse in our own way, but hopefully you enjoyed, and I hope that you're able to integrate these pranayama techniques into your daily life and into your practice. Thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste.